Tonight we've got baseball for you from PNC Park. It's the Pirates and the Brewers here in Game 2 of this 3-game series, and it's a Pucks and Bucks doubleheader. The second end of that coming up for you as the Pirates look to avenge the Brewers and maybe get this guy all ready for some baseball here tonight. Welcome into the booth. Joe Block and Steve Blass with you here this evening as we're treated to a Trevor Williams day. He has pitched so very well, and his last time around was no exception.
Outstanding. He's been outstanding against just about everybody, but in particular the Milwaukee Brewers. 2 starts, 13 innings, no runs given up. So the Brewers are very much aware of what he has done against them. This is a very, very good hitting team, and Trevor Williams has just shut them down as a group. And you just want to have him continue to run the table, finish out the thing, and he can take all this through the offseason with him.
Yeah, and it's not been just the Brewers that he's been able to defeat, really helping Dad be able to pump his fist all the time. But he's closing in on record territory now with what he's done since the All-Star break.
Yeah, those numbers tell the story. I mean, he just goes start after start after start, remarkably consistent. All his pitches have been very effective, fastball placed all around the place. And I've been very impressed, Joe, with the progress he's made with his off-speed pitch, particularly the changeup.
And for him tonight, going to take on a Brewers team that has hit well, but also the Pirates are starting to hit well, namely a couple of guys in Corey Dickerson and Josh Bell.
Yeah, we're going to be depending on them next year. Josh Bell has come out of his doldrums. And one thing about Corey Dickerson, you know, last year he had a great first half, and then he really failed to finish off the season. This year, great first half, stumbled a little bit, but he's back on track. This could be a big emotional thing, maybe a psychological thing for Corey Dickerson. He is very much back on track.
And that duo and the rest of the Pirates will take on Zach Davies of the Brewers tonight. The Pirates look to even the series. It's the Pirates against the Milwaukee Brewers, and we got it coming up right here on AT&T Sportsnet. Here on this Saturday night, and just a moment ago, Trevor Williams taking the mound for the Buccos tonight.
Yep, and he has been an absolute joy to watch. You know, Joe, every major league athlete, whatever the sport, they talk about being consistent. he has been remarkably consistent, and he's got this mile marker now. This is his 30th start. That's the foundation of being very consistent, somebody you can depend on, and he's been great.
And one of the league leaders in ERA for the whole season, but of course the last stretch he's been good, but those overall numbers are great.
Yeah, everywhere you look, it's excellent.
There's limited home runs this year, and for a guy that pitches to contact, really not a big strikeout guy, they still don't hit him very well.
Yeah, 15 home runs, 29 starts. That is excellent work keeping the ball in the ballpark, especially when you consider everybody's committed to hitting the home run.
And in the division, when he's on the road, there are some tough ballparks. The last time he pitched was in Milwaukee against these Brewers. And as you pointed out, he has not allowed a run to the Brewers in 2 starts this year.
Yeah, and we got an example of how good this lineup can be. The Brewers have what damage they can do.
Saw him in the 6th last night.
The thing is, right there, that last pitch is a perfect pitch, and he's behind in the count, but he doesn't go back into the strike zone. The bottom line, he is making a million good pitches, quality pitches.
Coming in on the hands there.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not more complicated than that. Well, why is he so good? He doesn't throw the ball by. He makes good pitch after good pitch after good pitch. So high percentage of pitches that you can't do much with. It's not much more complicated than that, because he doesn't throw the ball by people.
And a lot of different repertoires from different pitchers, but Williams throws more fastballs than anybody, and he strikes out Granderson on one right there. Granderson is atop Craig Counsell's 9 tonight, and for Milwaukee, no Jesus Aguilar, no Lorenzo Cain in their lineup tonight, but Christian Yelich, maybe the MVP, will bat second. With Braun and Shaw 3 and 4, Moustakas homered last night. He'll bat 5th, and Scope and Kratz, Arcia, and Davies rounding out the Milwaukee starting lineup tonight. It is the first day of fall. It is cool and crisp.
Love it. Love this time of year. Get the sweaters back out. Yep. Humidity's gone. Going to be some nice looking days coming up.
There is an air of importance when the weather breaks, and for Milwaukee there's no more important game than tonight, as they resided game and a half out behind Chicago. 59 degrees at game time,
and it's not going to get much warmer.
Not tonight.
No, not tonight. Little trailing breeze won't hurt anything hit to left field, won't help it a lot.
Yelich doesn't need much help, leading the league in batting average, right there in home runs, RBIs, steals, defense. He's played all 3 outfield positions.
Well, we talked last night, Joe, about Yelich escaping the Marlins. I mean, it sounds a little rather harsh, but he's in an element now where he's involved in a postseason push. He's had a great year.
9 hits the last 4 games.
He's been very remarkably consistent.
Yeah, he's hit for 2 cycles this year. You can keep on going. The list is long on that resume. This is the kind of matchups you love to see. Elite pitching against elite hitting.
Yeah, and it's not just elite pitching that tries to throw the ball by people. It's elite pitching that knows how to change speeds. I love his changeup. Yelich, take a look at, well, slow out of the gate, but he got it going. He got it going.
Hard to hit 400 for a whole month. But
yeah.
He did that. And right now trying to beat out a former Brewers, Scooter Gennett of the Reds, for the batting average title in the National League. Ivan Nova interrupted by rain last night. He was pitching well.
He really was. I mean, with the first 3 innings, 22, 23, 24 pitches, something like that.
Yelich spoiling that 92 down the middle.
And 92, and he's late on 92. That's the thing he does.
Yeah, last night the rains came. Talking with Nova today, he said, I just needed one more pitch. He had a runner at first.
Get a double play and get out of there.
Yeah, the pinch hitter would have been announced, and he would have gotten his requisite 5 innings.
The game started out so beautifully. Good defense, crisp pitching, and he got messy.
Cervelli had to leave the ball game, gastrointestinal discomfort. And Clint Earl said today that, the Pirates have 4 catchers, and alluding to, we're probably not going to use Cervelli unless they need to. The 9th pitch coming to Yelich. Tried to finish him with a breaking ball. Didn't get the call.
Could have one of those borderline pitches on the edge of those lines.
Down and away. Right where he wanted it. Let's change it. Mike Malinsky is the home plate umpire this evening. Mike Winters operates at first. Ryan Blakeney, Marty Foster. On the 10th pitch, Yelich will reach. Should have had an out.
It's got to be a throwing error, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was a routine play for Newman. It will be an error. That's his 4th.
Gets it, takes the steps. Caught a flyer toward home plate. Well, so many times we've seen Trevor Williams pick up his defense. They make an error. They make a lot of good plays, and every good pitcher wants to reward them for all the plays they make when they can pick them up after an error. That's a big part of your approach as a starting pitcher in the big leagues.
Ryan Braun in the 3 spot tonight. No Aguilar, no Kane,
and no Thames. Speaking of power potential, I guess more than anything else.
The only lefty not to be in the lineup tonight for Milwaukee. 4 of the first 5. Braun the only exception, batting left-handed against Williams. There's Kane. He's had an intercostal. Aguilar by him, getting just a day off, but Kane's been out for 3 games now.
You're talking about the umpires a moment ago. I had a wonderful conversation with Jameson Tyone that we're going to have on the radio pregame show tomorrow. But he talked about watching video of umpires. I'd never been exposed to that, never heard that. And it makes all the sense in the world to see what you can pick up with any particular tendencies an umpire might have. Now that's getting down to the nub in terms of preparation and research.
I'm looking forward to having that on the air. I got a chance to listen to it today.
He's a joy to work with. I mean, he thinks out his answers. He explores answers that go into some depth rather than just he doesn't live with cliches.
Well, big reason why Tyone and Williams, these two 26-year-olds, have taken that next step to go from potential to realizing it and being elite pitchers. Both of them have really picked apart what they were doing well and what they weren't, and tried to exploit their strengths and improve on what they weren't doing right.
Usually my Saturday conversation is with Ray Searage, and I certainly enjoy them. And by the way, I spoke to Ray this morning on the phone. He's doing well, but what his procedure was a lot more involved than he thought it was going to be. And he's okay. He's on the other side of it, but they had to do some work.
Braun is down on strikes. We wish Ray the best. Next surgery. Hopefully, if we don't get him back this year, we'll have him healthy next year, and that's good. So a couple of strikeouts. Here's the Honda defense behind Williams. That's Corey Dickerson out in left with Starling Marte and Jordan Luplow in right field. Kramer and Newman, Frazier and Bell on the right side with Jacob Stallings doing the catching.
And one of the things that James Tyone talked about was creating awkward swings, and Trevor Williams did just that against Ryan Braun.
Now Travis Shaw, now with 30 home runs. And a foul ball.
We talked about Nova and the early part of the ball game last night. Josh Bell made a really terrific reaction play at first base. Reyes made another nice play. So it was two different ball games, like a doubleheader. There was really crisp, good baseball. A lot of great plays, defensive plays, a lot of circles on my scorecard, and then the rains came. And everything changed after that.
Yeah, then it became the long ball that was featured.
Yep, the long rain and the long ball.
The Pirates have had the overall number of the Brewers, though, this year, 11-6 in the season series. And really, you could say the reason why the Brewers are not in first place, and it is the Cubs at the moment, because of the way that the Pirates have played Milwaukee. And the Pirates will still have their say, because after this they're going to play the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field for 4 games.
Dig your heels in. Yep. So the Brewers have the Cardinals in Detroit. Is that?
The Brewers will have the Cardinals and Tigers,
yep,
finishing up their regular season, or at least the first 162. Now 2-2.
Mr. Shaw left the game early last night. Very, very disappointed with the call.
Ejected from the game by Marty Foster.
So they asked him to leave the premises. Sounds like the Odd Couple. Asked to leave the premises.
He was evicted.
Yep.
A little weak pop-up. Kramer has it. And Williams works around the error. No problem for him in the first. And now the Pirates coming to bat. And Zach Davies tonight. Here's the RAV4 lineup with Starling Marte batting second. Josh Bell will move up to third with Corey Dickerson cleaning up. Jordan Luplow hits fifth. Kramer and Newman, of course, 6 and 7. And then Stallings and Williams, the battery, rounding out Clint Hurdle's Pirates 9 tonight.
And 25-year-old Zach Davies, 2-6, 4.66 ERA in 11 starts. He was on the disabled list twice with rotator shoulder problems. Last year, a 17-game winner for the Brewers. And like Trevor Williams, knows how to pitch.
Yeah, both these guys wanting to induce soft contact, change speeds, pitch.
Yep, simple as that. Make pitches. And if you don't throw 95, 96 miles an hour, you better make good pitches, and you better know how to change speeds and get soft contact. And guys that are out in front have not much left in terms of driving the ball. Comfortable outs.
Especially when you're facing this guy in Adam Frazier. Since he's been called up, it's been about 2 months. 6th in the league in batting average, tied for 9th in slugging percentage. Homers, doubles, It's not just little singles to left. And driving in runs.
So what do? You want to find a place where you can play him. If he's going to have that kind of bat, he's got to play.
And the Pirates have been doing that here in September. And Neil Huntington saying on his radio show last week that Adam Frazier's got the inside track on the job at second base next year. And why not?
Well, discussion, pitchers, catchers, they always talk. In between innings, if there's something to be chewed over, doesn't always happen out on the field. Just you want to tweak something or explain something, why I did this, why I didn't do that.
And out to Yelich for the first out.
It can be the loneliest of places alone on the bench, or it can be so much fun just sitting there anxious to get back out there. When you're pitching like he is, he's okay. Yeah, score me some runs, but I want back out there.
What do? You collect your thoughts? You just let your mind drift?
Yeah, you do. That's your breather. That's your decompression in between innings. You might carry a thought in with you and sit there, but I don't know. It's a chance to collect yourself. Yeah. He doesn't have to think too much about improvement. He's just thinking about getting back out there. Who might be coming up? Who might he be facing? Who's leading off next inning?
Starling Marte looking for home run number 20. That'd be a milestone for him. It would be a career high. Didn't like that inside pitch from Davies.
Well, no reason he should. It missed the strike zone. And we talk about pitchers learning the umpire's strike zone. Well, hitters have to be aware of what's being called on a given night or what's not being called.
Especially when you have 2 strikes.
He's not the biggest guy, Zach Davies. He's 6 foot, 157 pounds, 160 pounds out of the state of Washington. Originally with Baltimore. Drafted in 2011. Came over 4 years later to be a part of the Milwaukee Brewers. Knows how to pitch. So you put maybe him and Williams and a Kendricks in that similar kind of Maddox school of pitching, perhaps. Guys are a little bit out in front, or a little bit late. You know, the back and forth. It's an art.
Marte's been able to work the count to full now. That's a good walk.
Good at that. Yep.
Approaching a career high. He may even set that still this year in walks for Marte. And his speed aboard with 1 out. The defense for Milwaukee. Stop right there, Jonathan Scope. He's at second base. Orlando Arcia across the keystone from him at short. Moustakas and Shaw on the corners with Braun, Yelich, and Granderson in the outfield. And for the second straight night, Eric Kratz does the catching for the Brew Crew. There he is, former Pirate.
Yeah.
And he can pick it over at third, like Moustakas. Not just a bat. Here's Josh Bell. He's been swinging a better bat. Been on base in 12 straight. That average has gotten up to 270 again. And starting to see a home run there in the last 10 games, some doubles. A little bit more sock. Gotta mind Marte.
Yeah, we mentioned that Zach Davies is 6 feet tall. That maybe on a good day, maybe they're measuring from in front of the mound. And standing, getting some help height-wise from the mound.
Well, growing up in the Seattle area, the same delivery, of course, as Marte will take second that way. What do you think of Tim Lincecum, who also grew up in the state of Washington as a very thinly built guy who could get some outs? very much get some outs for at his peak.
Davies working with Eric Kratz, who was in a kind of a angry mood at one point last night when he got hit in the middle of the back going down to first base. Former Pirate catcher.
Twice, in fact. Marte trying to take third. A delay, and Moustakas tags him out. Trying to get to third with one out.
Yeah, but I don't know. You got Bell and Dickerson coming up. Yeah, that's a late start from not a big lead. Bad combination, and things quickly settle down.
And trying to catch him napping. And sometimes at that point you see a guy maybe halt in his tracks, and then he usually gets hung up anyway. Trying to press the issue here in the first. So instead the base is clear.
I wouldn't call that the best of decisions.
Yeah, the idea to get the third with one out, sure, but not on a delay like that.
And be sure when you go from second to third, be sure.
That makes it tougher too when you got a guy in the left-handed batter's box. A nice easy path for Kratz to throw.
Yep. So he's probably feeling a little bit vindicated from being hit last night. So he's feeling better about that. But Marte is not. And when you are stealing from second base, you know, nobody's holding you on. So you have to have an awareness of how big a lead. You want to stretch your lead, and you want to be quick. But I think the lead is a big part of it. And that sounds pretty obvious. But you get that massive lead. Okay, nobody's paying attention to me right now. Nobody's paying attention, so I can get this easily because I'm sure. If you're not sure, hey, you got some pretty good bats in back of you. Let them work.
Well, Marte just have to get on next time.
Yep.
Davies get himself out of the first. Scoreless first inning tonight. Trevor Williams back out on the hill.
Fans, the Pirates.
Bordis. Bordis and Bordis, fighting for justice. Let's go Bucks!
What a night.
That is a portrait right there. There's your postcard. There's your Pittsburgh postcard.
The hills and the first day of autumn. Just behind our perch.
It's pretty.
It's been Fan Appreciation Week. And tonight it's three-cornered hat night. No.
There's that really, really good changeup.
Moustakis made that alert play to get Marte trying to steal last inning. Added another home run to his resume yesterday, 27 now. At his time with the Royals and Brewers.
You know, Joe, I know very little about hitting, but I know when you throw a good changeup and you don't telegraph it or anything, guys are out there out in front and they might hit the ball, but they don't have the drive. The drive is gone. It's out in front. You got your hands and your arms. You're not going to hit a gap shot that's going to get in between people. You don't have that much left. You're out in front. Most of your body is done, and you got your hands and arms left. And that creates a lot of very medium, comfortable outs. I like his changeup a lot.
The slider has improved too.
Yep, and we talk about his fastball all the time, and it's kind of an interesting subject because again, he's fooling him. I think maybe with sequence, he's setting his fastball up, so it's not just something they're expecting. They're late, they're early, so a lot of it has to do with the previous pitches for that really effective fastball.
And you talked about command too. I think that has as much to do with it too. A little bouncer. It's going to sneak through.
Meandering ground ball up the middle.
First hit off Williams tonight by Mike Moustakis. Tomorrow is the final kids day of the season here at PNC Park. Kids 14 and younger can pick up a play ball knit cap courtesy of Chevrolet. Plus Fan Appreciation Day with giveaways all game long. A festive atmosphere tomorrow. Come on and join us. Get your tickets at Pirates.com. The ultimate game of the season here at PNC Park. Been fun to bring the kiddos out, especially tonight when it's a little chilly.
Yep, bundle them up.
Yeah.
Yep. We have seen this homestand. We've seen a bunch of kids at the ballpark. It's always great.
Have mine out tomorrow, so that'll be fun. Wrap up the home slate. Jonathan Scope, the ex-Oriole.
Used to see a good bit of him in spring training over in Sarasota.
He was an all-star last year, had some injuries this year earlier. His numbers are down, but elite type power, and one of those guys that we've seen with Yelich, young players that are just coming into their own. 32 and 105, just under 300 a year ago at this time. He's 26.
Right in the prime.
Moustakis will take advantage at first, but not really a threat to run. You were talking about Williams' fastball, Steve. He throws it 7 out of 10 times. That's more than any other pitcher in baseball. It's not, Noah Syndergaard or someone, or Chris Sale or somebody that's throwing in the upper 90s.
That's the ultimate confidence. Yeah. When you're not throwing 97, 98, and you throw it 70% of the time, you know what you're doing with it. You're setting it up. You're throwing it in some unhittable places.
Justin Message, the assistant pitching coach.
Yeah, he's holding the fort while Ray is away.
But he'll tell you there's nobody more competitive out on that mound than Trevor Williams. He's up there with all those guys. Even though it doesn't look like it, from our vantage point, he just goes out and does his business, but he is fiery.
Ball down in no man's land, and
there you go.
Nice
right down the banister.
Yep, nice to drop in, Josh.
I see Dancing with the Stars in the future. Maybe?
Yeah. Williams is one of those guys that, okay, you're not dazzling. Oh, you look up and, it's a 6th inning, and we haven't done much against him.
Well, the teams in the division are starting to find that out, but it's fun to watch when he faces maybe a team from the American League. as he uses the slider for his third strikeout. Let's look at our Barrel Automotive League leaders. Best earned run average after the All-Star break in Pirates history. And you're on that list too,
I made
Steve.
the list.
Well, you had a great stretch, a couple of great stretches at 68.
Yeah.
But Trevor right now atop that list.
Yep. Yeah, and he should be. He's been dazzling. He really has been.
You and he both share stretches of 20 or more innings of scoreless ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Twice in the same season.
Yeah,
how do you do that?
I don't know. You get on a roll and you just the ball does what you want it to do. You throw it where you want it to. And yeah, I had a nice little stretch right around now. I think three shutouts in a row. I mean that's when you want to pitch every other day.
And you kind of did in 68. Well, it wasn't in a 4-man rotation.
It was 5. It was 5.
It was 5.
Yeah.
But you made 17 starts after the break. This is Trevor's 11th, I believe, after the break. So.
Yeah, I had a nice. I won nine in a row. Had a 9-game winning streak.
That kind of stuff mystifies me because so many things have to happen. You have to have run support. You have to also have good defense behind you. You can make all your pitches. What if they hit a couple through and maybe there's an error and
or you don't
there's
get
a
any,
run,
or you don't get any runs in support. We had a good offense, but when you're in that kind of run, you're expecting to succeed. You're expecting to do that, make that pitch where you want to make it, and you're probably thinking ahead to the next pitch after that.
And Trevor talked about that. I mean, he's had a rough stretch this year, even though his ERA is among the leaders. It's in the low 3s. There was a stretch in June where, just about every time he went out, he was getting knocked out of the ball game at some point. 4th inning, 5th inning. And he just pulled himself up by the bootstraps and said, I'm not going to do this anymore. And maybe that's what you're talking about, having that confidence, that conviction.
Yeah. You don't lose track of the fact that you have the capability of doing that. There's another awkward swing. But what, 2 starts ago he gave up 4 runs? I had one of those 4-run games during that stretch too. So there's a little similarity that the numbers could even be better, but the numbers could be worse too. I mean, it's just dazzling when it's only happened once in the recent starts that he's had.
Well, when you say the numbers could be worse, every other pitcher has worse numbers than Trevor Williams since the break. No swing. Not a full count on Kratz. He also homered yesterday.
And to the big part of this ballpark, out pretty close to the notch.
Even though he has been up and down from the minor leagues throughout his career, has always had decent power.
And has always had a job. These guys that catch.
Strike him out, throw him out, double play.
That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your double plays for free.
to the second coming up. And the old strike him out, throw him out, double play.
First part, swings right through it, and then plenty of time to apply the tag as Moustakas finally gets into the picture. So the old hit and run, when you don't hit, it doesn't work. That'll teach them Brewers to get a hit off Williams.
So Stallings with his first caught stealing. Corey Dickerson. He's been swinging a hot bat. You know, we look at some of the individual numbers. I'd like to see that average get back above 300 by the end of the year. He deserves it.
Yep. And it would mean to him too that he winds up finishing off a season. Probably a little bit of frustration last year. But, he's been very, very good lately. He's been a very good Pirate all season. This acquisition of Corey Dickerson has been outstanding.
Has played a very good left field.
And we had heard that he was a so-so left fielder. I think he's been at least average major league, if not above.
And you can see he's had 2 months there where 1 RBI, 2 RBIs. Imagine if he can just quell those lulls just a little bit. He'd be an all-star again as he was last year. And maybe that's in the cards for 2019.
Yep, just a tough August.
And June too. Those were 2 months that he did not drive the ball, but now he's starting to pick it back up again.
It's almost like maybe you can withstand a 263, but it's hard to overcome a 211 when you've got that many at bats. They add up, and now it's tough to pick up your bootstraps and make it work back up to 296 and maybe 297 or 298 after that base hit right there. So he's on the cusp of getting back to 300.
Here's Jordan Luplow. That's tailor-made. Hard hit to the shortstop. Marcia to scope to Shaw. Well, it's been dangerous to be a base runner today. Most have been erased.
It sounds final, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As a base runner, you're erased. You don't exist.
Well, that's part of it, I guess, right? When you have pitchers that are apt to put the ball in play.
Yep. It's hard to time these guys up. Simple as that. They disrupt their timing.
Kevin Kramer.
Sometimes we make it so complicated. Go out there and make good pitches.
And then those that are capable of doing that. Yeah, you talk about consistency. All 3 of those guys varying levels of consistency this season. Nick Kingdom's first start, perfect through 6 2/3. So he's absolutely capable. And as he adjusts and as guys get a little bit better, they become tougher and tougher to hit.
Robbie, it's Mikowski. He's got a shot of some cool kids that undergoing pediatric cancer treatment. You see me wearing these gold ribbons here, us in the broadcast, and that's because MLB, for the 3rd consecutive year, is raising awareness for the fight against childhood cancer. And to kick off the evening, the Pirates and Sports Clubs presented the 2018 Base Bald Challenge, helping the St. Baldrick's Foundation conquer childhood cancers by hosting a pregame head shaving event. You saw the players that were involved: James Tyone, Ryan Lavarnway, along with Nick Kingham, assistant pitching coach Justin Message, Tom Prince, and many other coaches were a part of it. It's a pretty cool deal. Coaches and front office employees all part of that as well. Now, for every head shaved, Pirates Charities will make a donation to the St. Baldrick's Foundation. That was one of a few cool things that were going on before the ball game tonight. As we get another good look, here's Dave Jowls having his head shaved, sitting next to Tom Prince. Everybody getting the group photo together. Really, really a cool event, Joe and Steve. Something we've seen every year happen here in recent years at PNC Park, and really it never, never, never gets old.
Absolutely. It's heart-wrenching in so many ways to think about that whole subject, and whatever anybody can do to help a kid in that situation is a terrific person.
It was wonderful to be a part of that tonight, just to see these parents be able to have a moment to relax, have some fun tonight.
Absolutely.
Come out to a ball game, but also to raise money and awareness. September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, and today you see the gold ribbons that we're all wearing, and Marcia is the first out. But it was great to see Jose Osuna also out there today. Several of the Pirates players, as we look at our Point Park social media. Nick Kingham, he got his head shaved along with Jamison Tyone, of course, a cancer survivor himself. And just great to see those guys. They absolutely understand the kind of impact that they can make on just a few moments of their time.
Yep, tip of the cap. Tip of the cap for that gesture.
Maybe wait a couple of days for it to grow in before they do that.
Now, from what I know, I don't travel with the team, but it wouldn't take long. Dave Jowls probably a quick job.
Yeah,
it didn't take long.
Yeah, he was the first one done.
Yeah.
I offered. They didn't even bother with me. So.
Well, you could offer to buff and a polish or something like I do.
It was really nice. Some of the members of the Pirates front office as well, hoping to raise money for St. Baldrick's. Davies a base hit.
His first of the year.
Davies now 1 for 15 this season.
Left it up right in that middle zone. You don't know who's bigger, the bat or Davies. Not the biggest guy out there.
Yeah, very slim build. I remember when he got called up for the first time and seeing him in street clothes. You think, you know, he might be a clubhouse attendant, maybe making the trip, and then he went out and pitched 15 scoreless innings to begin his major league career. And quickly realized, oh, okay, this is one of the Brewers' top prospects. Okay.
A couple guys, a couple of years, it hadn't been too long where Christian Yelich does not look very old. I think very young features.
Cherubic face for Yelich and some of these guys. He's only 26. Put him in the right clothes, you might think you got a high schooler there until you see him swing the bat.
Yeah.
The Sage veteran Granderson, who stands at the front of the box.
Struck out his first time up to start the ball game. As, Williams picked up 2 strikeouts in that inning. He's got 4.
Got underneath it. Luplo with the second out. He knows he just missed. Well, that's the hallmark of Williams.
Just missed. Yep. Didn't quite get it. Little awkward swing. the timing wasn't quite right. The pitcher had my timing off. I popped the ball up.
Just enough to get you to swing, but not enough to get you to make hard.
And it's not
hard
dazzling.
contact.
It's not a headline. It's not spectacular.
It's an art form.
It's an art form, and it's a routine out. Routine outs are art form for pitchers. Is art form for pitchers.
Yelich had a 10-pitch at bat his first time around, and hit a bouncer to short.
Routine ground ball. You still can't keep him off the bases.
Yeah, that's the kind of year he's had. You know, wasn't putting up nearly the same kind of numbers in Miami, but you know, a lot of times it takes a few years. Yeah, good numbers for sure, but had never been an all-star until this season, and now might even be a most valuable player. And you have
Parker and Pena,
all-stars, MVPs, with McCutcheon and Parker.
We saw Dave Parker in the ballpark earlier this summer. We wish him well. The Cobra is referred to. Cobra. Speaking of MVPs,
here's
you have a favorite, Joe?
I think it's Yelich now. Right now, I mean, he's continuing to just rise, but Baez, I think, has got a good shot, and Arenado to me is the best player in the league because he's the best defensive third baseman. A lot of people say maybe ever.
It's quite, yeah, I agree.
And he hits a ton.
I agree. That's quite a representation of talent.
Yeah, all those guys on that list, though, should get votes, and this may be one of the best contested ballots because it gets voted on at the end of the regular season. The postseason does not matter at all with the voting. Who gets the most stars or votes?
Stargell stars.
Full count on Yelich. He's tough to put away. Yeah, Braun next. 0 for 8 lifetime, struck out his first time around against Williams.
Extended at bat here.
And that's called ball 4.
So close. A miss, but throwing the ball pretty much where he wanted to throw the ball.
Yeah,
and not giving in on a full count delivery.
Yeah, you've been talking about that, how Williams will not do that. And doesn't that make sense against Yelich? Nothing, third inning. Why throw him a fat pitch?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more.
Put it right on the edge and see if you get the call. See if you get a swing. And
with the mindset, too, I don't have to give in because, okay, I lose him. I try to make a perfect pitch. I'm still confident. This is a good, really good hitter coming up, but I'm at the top of my game now, and I can afford that walk. Puts me in a bad spot, and I might get burned. He might get burned, but he's got an idea what he's doing.
Broken bat right at the bag. So the next pitch is out of the inning. And Williams has put up 3 more zeros here tonight.
that were recognized on the field during a pregame ceremony and given their very own Pirates superhero cape, given it to them by a member of the team to assist them in their fight. The superheroes and their families are all watching the ball game tonight, and Pirates owner Bob Nutting earlier discussed what a night like this means to him.
This is such a special night to be able to give these kids a little bit of fun, to get out, goof around a little bit, cut the hair, wear the capes, and have a wonderful day at baseball is fun. And we can't forget how serious pediatric cancer is. These kids go through so much all year long, 365 days. It's hard for us to imagine what they're suffering through. And if we can bring a little bit of joy to their lives tonight, just tell them we care, tell them we're there with them. That's what tonight's all about.
And not only did the Buccos do that, Joe and Steve, they're in a World Series suite, watching the game tonight, having a dinner fit for a superhero, custom created for them by Levy Care. So the Pirates doing a nice job and having all of them. Look at them having a good time up there tonight, drinking the soda, wearing their Pirates gear. Looks like everybody's having a good time. Glad to be a part of it.
And they got their capes too.
Yeah, there's a baseball game going on, but boy, if that doesn't tug at you, that whole thing.
I've had the good fortune of becoming friends with Sean Nolan, who's here tonight, and his family, and very pleased to tell you that he's gone back to just being a high school kid who loves broadcasting and being in plays and doing things that high school kids do, just hanging out. And that's what's fun about tonight, is that there are many, many, many success stories. And this is a tough time for, like Mr. Nutting said, we can't imagine what the parents, what the families, brothers and sisters, and the kids themselves are going through, but we can give them a nice relaxation moment and a trip away from that for a few hours tonight. Newman is the first out. But great to see everybody here. I thought one other cool moment tonight was there's a 4-year-old girl named Milan Broom, and she met Stephen Brault tonight. We saw a picture of that a second ago, and she loves rainbows, and Stephen Brault has a tattoo of rainbows on one of his arms, and she became fascinated with that. And just little things like that where you can make a connection. The Pirates players, the coaches, the front office, everybody really connecting, and it does a lot for those guys too, but I know it does a lot for those kids.
Yep.
Joe Musgrove and Chris Archer there, everybody spending as much of their day as they could with them.
When they're down there physically that close to those kids, you connect real quick. I mean, it just is, it's there right at you, and it's so real.
And many of these guys are fathers. Jacob Stallings no exception. And so you put yourself in their shoes, or you try to for a second, and you think about the severity of it all.
Yep.
But also that thanks to the really skilled doctors and nurses and all the research that is being done, there are a lot of great outcomes. Stallings is the second out. And here's a picture from Matt Freed. Here is a glimpse of that moment of Milan and Stephen Brault checking that out tonight. I thought that was neat. She got to cut some hair tonight as well too, so it was really fun for all the groups, and just to see the smiles on the parents' faces warmed my heart tonight. So thanks for everybody coming out.
Amen.
Trevor Williams trying to return the favor against Zach Davies. Pitcher hit the pitcher in the Brewers half. Is there ever a pitcher that got you, more than once?
Well, my roughest time, Steve Carlton beat me 2-1, and he hit the home run that was the second run.
No way. Difference-making home run. And you guys both pitched well.
Well, that was his year of 1972 when the Phillies won 59 games. He won 27 of them.
Think about that.
That is a number for you.
And Trevor Williams Does him one better, an infield hit. That'll go on the mantle.
Yep. Well, he really tattooed the ball. But Moustakis, who makes all the plays all the time, did not make that one. And
that was a mistakes.
Yes, very good.
No, he's very good. You're right. That was surprising to see him not barehand that ball. Williams will take advantage. You don't see, sometimes you see pitchers just kind of stroll and saunter down the line, but Williams sniffed that out.
You know what? When you're 26, 27 years old, you get a chance to work once a week, and you can get up 3 or 4 times if you're really pitching well. Run your tail off. It's fun. It's fun. See if you can beat out something. Just to be involved in the action rather than go up there and go through the motions with your swings or your stroll down to first base.
And then you turn the lineup over for a guy who's been one of the better run producers in the league, not just on this team. And it's weird to say with Adam Frazier, but he's been doing that. 353 with runners in scoring position. That's for the whole year. And with a man at first, he'll move him up to second with that base hit.
All of a sudden, you got a threat going. Frazier, pitcher hustled down to first base.
I like it.
Good pitch by Davies. Really good at bat for Frazier. Goes down. Stays with it. The head goes down with the bat. You got a threat. Now Davies has given up 8 home runs in his first 11 starts. So if a guy like that doesn't throw hard, if he misses his spot, those are pitches that, well, they're drivable. Let's put it that way.
Marte came back from an 0-2 count to work a walk back in the first. You see his dirtied uniform. That was a stolen base attempt. Now trying to drive him in. He's also done a good job driving him in toward the corner. Williams is going to come in to score. Frazier hustling around third. He is safe. 2-run score on the Marte double. The Pirates lead 2-0.
2-out offense, always a personal favorite. Frazier gets waved around. The throw was close. The play at the plate was close, but then the ball got away from Kratz, and it all was set up by Braun having a little difficulty out in left field as that ball was close enough to the wall where Ryan Braun got really close, kind of got in between, and then it might have made the difference of Joey Cora sending Frazier. So I don't know if we can pick it up. Braun comes over, ball on the wall. Okay, a second grab at it, and that makes the difference. And there's the ball that solidifies it. There's the kick right there. So that might have cost the Brewers that second run.
Great look on our Allegheny Health Network Super Bowl. Goes as a double, 2 RBIs for Marte. And it all starts with a 2-out infield hit by Trevor Williams. 27 doubles for Marte. 69 runs batted in. And Bell can pick Marte up here with a 2-out safety. And Frazier kept that inning going with the base hit.
Yep. And with the 2 outs, he was off with contact. So all the way around from first base with the help of Ryan Braun, and that throw getting away from the catcher.
Be on the lookout for a ball in the dirt. With runners in scoring position, 299 this year for Bell. Now Williams has some run support. And in the National League, the pitcher can affect that. Yeah, he'll trade a
two of the principals there.
Yeah. He'll trade maybe a little bit of cardio for a couple of runs for sure. Davies gets Bell, but the Pirates get 2 through 3. Trevor Williams and the Buccos up 2-0. Ever wonder what one hit can do? Music from Clutch. That's what Williams, Frazier, and Marte were in the third. 2-0 Buccos as we begin the fourth.
And business as usual for Trevor Williams. It was back on June 18th when he worked against Milwaukee here. 7 innings, 1 hit, shutout ball, winning 1-0. And then last time out, another scoreless outing, 6 innings with just 2 hits. So these 13 scoreless innings coming into this game with 3 hits. I mean, that's the superlatives, you know.
We can go on and on.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes too much talk diminishes it a little bit. So he's just plain flat out fun to watch right now.
Absolutely. When you talk about those scoreless outings, he's had 10 scoreless outings. 5+ innings. Most in baseball, most in recorded Pirates history.
Strikeout number 5. Wants the high fastball. He gets the high fastball. You're in these kind of runs, you're throwing the ball where you want to.
Must be fun to catch him.
Yeah, rocking chair.
Yeah. I want this. Here it is. Okay, great. Now do this. Okay. Stallings says, I want this. Williams says, I shall do this.
You know, one other aspect too, and we don't want to overcook this too much, but when you're pitching in this kind of role, you really don't care too much what fingers the guy's putting down because you have confidence in all your pitches.
A little while here to start this sequence to Moustakas. One of the 2 Brewers to have a hit tonight, both singles. Williams has walked 1.
Is he going to have just 1 more start after this, Joe?
I would think so.
Okay.
There's been no word of shutting down any of the starters. Not to say that it wouldn't happen, but I haven't heard anything about that yet.
the reason I bring that up, there's going to be a night where we start with Williams again on superlatives, and he's going to get his face ripped off. It's going to happen. Those kind of things happen to everybody. So don't be alarmed if he gets knocked around, because it happens. And not so fast, my friend. Mike Moustakas will come back to look at another pitch. See how close this one is. Very close. On those, it's amazing how many pitches are on those various outside perimeter lines. Half in, half out. You get half the calls. Now, Craig Counsell looking on. This probably is a little embarrassing, 2 pitches in a row. This one a little bit better quality pitch, but he's a pro. He goes back there and doesn't argue, steps back in and hits a routine fly ball, and there's Trevor Williams again. Right out of Central Casting.
Yeah, he got their license to hunt moose. Came right back after being down 3-0 to get him for the second out.
What's the limit? How many can you how many moose can you get in one day? Well, so far he lost one. He was hunting one and gave up the base hit, but he got the second one.
Well, he'll go to third next inning. He was trying to go to first there.
Look at this. You want to protect your 2-run lead when you go back out there in the next half inning. Do it on what, 7 pitches?
10-pitch inning, 1-2-3. Williams sends down the Brewers in the 4th.
Rab 4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
2-0. The Pirates lead on the UPMC scoreboard. Looking for more here in the 4th. Glad you're with us on a Pucks and Bucks Saturday night. Dickerson, another drive. Well, last night he hit the ball hard 4 times, and again the first 2 times here this evening.
Well, Joe, I want to take a moment, if I can. This is my last TV game of the season, so I would like to say what a joy it's been working with you, really, all year. And thanks to the guys down in the truck, Adam and Pete, Jason, Tyler, the whole gang, the camera guys. It's a joy doing what I do, and thank you all for what you do, making our TV, our telecast look so great, our Super Mo, and all the neat stuff you have going. It's a pleasure working with all of you, really, and just want to send my thanks down to all the guys in the truck and Bob and Greg and Dorn over on the radio side. I'm going to be over there tomorrow, but it's a lot of fun. The crew I get to work with on the television side, I don't ever take it for granted. I get in the ballpark to come to a TV game, and I look forward to working with everybody. So thank you so much for everything. Once again, another year.
Thanks a lot to
it's a joy.
To Zach, also, who is 3 feet to your right now, who you forgot to mention.
No thanks to no thanks to Zach. Nothing.
Oh,
he'll get nothing.
I didn't mean to put words in your mouth.
Zach is one of the best. We get along. I think we ride each other pretty hard up here on occasion.
Oh, Terry, they love you too.
Yeah,
that's today.
Yeah, Terry and Debbie, and she wears the walk jersey. So down in front in 315 or 316, they're here on Sundays, and they're here. They were out on the street, had a little autograph session this afternoon from 3 to 4. So they stopped by. I got a chance to meet the folks that wear those jerseys. So it's all good, and another year that I've enjoyed all of this. Thank you.
Well put, Steve. It's always fun to sit alongside you and have you tell us some tales. I don't know how tall they are sometimes.
Some of them are even true. How about those quilts? Those folks.
Are those the T-shirt giveaways?
Yeah. Nancy and Steve Thomas have put those quilts together. They had them out here last year. That's a labor of love for your buccos right there. That's great stuff. Those quilts all handmade. There they are right there. If we can stop, can't put them up, but they were sitting there. The folks that we just had in that last shot, Nancy and Steve Thomas, who create those quilts. Right there, yeah. The lady in the gray and the gentleman with his arms folded. That's Nancy and Steve. Thank you. That's great stuff to look at.
That is, I don't know how they fold that quilt up at the end of the night. Looks like they have some signatures on there too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yep.
Al Oliver, right over her right shoulder.
And we were out on the street, met Shannon Nayar celebrating her birthday. She goes to 70 ball games, 70 home games a year at least. So happy birthday, Shannon. Met a lot of nice folks out on the street. Eric Kratz thought that was a strike.
Well, Kramer gets to stick around a little longer.
Almost the backdoor slider, picking up that corner, but takes another pitch or so, and that's it.
Kramer strikes out to end the fourth, and it stays 2-0. Thank you, Paul. And
nice looking banner there.
Yeah.
It never fails to bring back a lot of memories. You know, you have memories from each year. There's memories from this year, and certainly going back to 1971 to not only win the thing, but spend a whole year with those people going through that whole journey and coming out on the end of it with a ring.
And to be a huge part of that, an integral part of it.
Well, fun being a part of it. Fun watching Mr. Clemente do show everybody around baseball what we have been seeing for 20 years.
Now let's check back in with Paul. Another game break. Well, thanks, Paul. Yeah, so the playoff picture getting a little clearer.
It's starting to happen.
We still don't know who the wild cards will be, who's going to win the West, who's going to win the Central in the National League. And we saw the Yankees. They have a 2-game lead now over the A's for the right to host the wild card, which it pretty much looks like that is going to be the AL wild card matchup, unless the A's can get hot and overthrow Houston.
And we got a critical at bat here, Joe, because after the leadoff hit by Kratz, now you want to get the 8th man out, because if you don't, then you got the pitcher coming up to bunt and it sets it up.
Well, the Brewers often will pull their pitcher early in games. We saw that yesterday. They had Thames actually that was going to come out and bat for Chacin after 4 innings. And looks like they might go that route again. Brandon Woodruff is getting up.
Yeah, things change here in September.
Every win so critical when you're in that heat of the postseason chase.
I guess I'll rephrase it then. You still want to get Arcia.
Well, no doubt. And
just a very skinny lead.
You think for Milwaukee, this is the franchise's 50th season. They're trying to go to the postseason for the 5th time in those 50 years. So there's a palpable feeling of importance. That's a foul ball.
I don't know if Arcia was just behind of that pitch by the fact it was that kind of pitch, or whether he was trying to hit behind the runner and find that hole.
A hitting coach, ex-Bucco Darnell Coles with Curtis Granderson.
One of our 3 home run men.
3 home runs in a game in '87. And Arcia strikes out. Williams has been very frustrating for the Brewers hitters tonight.
Strikeout number 6 in a big spot.
MLB at bat. That's your #1 Pirates app. You can customize your experience to catch every moment all season long. Get Pirates home screen icons. Features like the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at bat today. A replay of that last strikeout. Or you can check out the stats on Eric Thames. Mr. T. That was his Players Weekend name. You can see the resemblance.
Yes, you can.
Hulking. He's got the change to go with that.
Look at the arms. I mean, that's a set of arms. He doesn't need any armor.
Now the ball would just break upon contact.
I think that guard on his arm, Lancelot wore that back in the days of King Arthur as a set of mail. And the artwork, I mean, it's like a sculpture.
When he came on last year with Milwaukee, there was nobody hotter in the month of April.
Didn't he have a bunch of home runs and a little pile of RBIs?
Yeah, he had 11 home runs in April, maybe double that in terms of runs batted in. Up the middle, but they got to play that way. Nicely turned.
Unreal. What do you think these Brewers are what's going through their mind now when they're facing Williams like this? It's just really impressive.
He's one of the best.
With express service, you're in and out in no time. Visit barrelservice.com to find a location near you. And by Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates and fans like you. Let's go Bucks!
2-0. The Pirates have the advantage as Starling Marte 2-out, 2-run double back in the third. 5 zeros put up by Trevor Williams. Last swing before the ring.
Oh, how about that? Having a ball at the ballpark.
Before you take the plunge, taking a ball game.
Brandon Woodruff comes on to replace Davies, who's unfortunately a victim of the month of September. Davies will probably still be out there any other time, but these are desperate times for the Brewers.
Paul had some English on it. Good recovery by both Scope and Shaw.
A lot of drama in that ground ball, but they get the out.
The ball has a weird spin on it. Bounding out to Scope. That's the position he played most with the Orioles, second base, although they've had him at short at times. And Shaw, who has been their third baseman, has played some first, but he's played a lot of second base, which he had never played before. Shuffle up the cards and see what they've got in the infield on any given night.
Yeah, when you can swing the bat like Shaw can, you find various places for him.
He's looked good over at second. He's looked just fine. Turned a double play yesterday.
96 miles an hour from Woodruff. Different look, different speeds for the Pirate batters to adapt to. Ice, frozen ice, everybody loves it. And really doing a pretty good job all by His or herself, not quite sure. But getting the job done.
Yeah, I have that issue too. Sometimes we trot our kids out, and if they wear blue one day or something, or yellow, something neutral. You have beautiful boys. Thank you.
Yeah.
She and she both like that you said that. Thank you.
Operative
Not
word,
offended.
beautiful.
So 3-1 on Stallings. Still looking for his first big league home run. He's had a couple of walk-off hits. And he'll walk here. One out base runner against Woodruff. Ed Sheeran's going to bring his North American Stadium tour right here to PNC Park. That'll be a week from tonight, September 29th. And you can hear him sing all the hits here, the best ballpark in baseball. New seats have just been released, including suite seats. You can watch the show from a suite here at PNC Park. Get your tickets, pirates.com/Sheeran. Williams with an infield hit last time, but with a runner aboard. He'll try to sacrifice. So grateful for all the loyal fans. These guys are out here just about every night.
Loyal fans. That's some more serious loyalty.
I want to especially thank those who are out here in April. It's the first kind of chilly weather that we've had since the early spring, when it was snowy and about 34. The Renegades are always here.
Very stylish this evening, as usual.
I don't think there's a more elegant way to eat boneless chicken.
Yep. Stylish yet understated. Well, not very understated.
That's a nicely mustachioed man right there. Raleigh fingers, maybe a little Daniel Mangden. Well done.
Davies went the first 4, giving up 2 runs on 4 hits. That's how it stands.
Well, Williams showing that probably not going to bunt with 2 strikes, but Mustak is still hedging his bets over at third. Still creeping in. And now he'll back up for the first time.
Trevor working it.
I think he's even gotten to be a little bit better of a hitter since he's been pitching outstandingly.
Well, when you're pitching like this, it kind of drags everything along. The pitching drags everything along.
That time Woodruff got it up enough at 98. That's the second out. And a look at the series finale tomorrow. Joe Musgrove will go for the Buccos against the lefty Wade Miley. Our Nissan road ahead. Our coverage comes your way at 1 o'clock right here on AT&T Sportsnet. Miley, since missing most of the year with injury, has really helped them.
Last home game of the season, folks. Come on out. Get a chance. It's the Buccos in person.
Including Fan Appreciation Week with Fan Appreciation Day. I always love to come out to that game.
Yeah, that's the frosting on top of the cake of all week. Fan Appreciation Week, and then you get the cherry on top Sunday.
Shirts off their backs, so players will give their jerseys to folks. Frazier finds a way. Stallings is going to go to third on this. Alert base running with 2 outs, and Bucks on the pond for Starling Marte.
Yep, off on contact, and of course he's got everything right out in front of him as that ball went out into left center field. So Jacob really getting into third base quite comfortably. There he is off at contact. Doesn't have great speed, but that ball takes a while to get out there, and he reads it nicely, as you said. Adam Frazier producing once again. Well, he did it with 2 outs in the third when he scored a deuce.
Shaw saying to him, "I've been seeing a lot of you." 2 out of 3 tonight. So on the corners, Marte came out with a 2-run double his last time with 2 outs, accounting for all the scoring tonight.
Shaw probably saying to Frazier, what is it with this guy Williams you got over there? What is it with him?
Yeah, he's been, what, 18 innings now against the Brewers and big 0.
6 hits. 18 innings.
I'd like to go back and see. I bet you they're all singles too, or pretty close to it.
There weren't many of them to go back and look at. The 1-hitter and then the 2-hitter.
This is Marte. His last time around.
And the bounce away from Braun creates the second run. Down goes Frazier.
Great base running. He scored from first on that.
He could do it again. 2 outs, off on contact.
Right side's wide open. Oh. Marte hit with the pitch. He was ruled that he was hit with the pitch. And Housen is out. Hit him in the hand. Looks like that left hand. And he's got one of those batting gloves that have a little bit extra padding on it. And that looked like it caught both the hand and the knob of the bat. But the hand is part of the arm and the bat is part of the bat.
Well, Frazier's already down at second.
Yeah. And Marte will take first. Now, if it just hit the knob of the bat and nothing else, then he's not hit with a pitch. But if it hits his hand on the bat, he's hit with the pitch. And that's what happened.
No protest out of the Brewer dugout.
Maybe it gives you an incentive not to choke up.
Yeah,
well,
what's Joey Votto thinking about?
Well, the bases are loaded for Bell. And he's licking his chops. And a man at third with 2 outs his last time. Up to Yelich. And the Brewers escape. A hit and 3 left. But the Buccos still up by a pair. Sure to keep his favorite glove on the field. Find out who helps Jordan keep it together and what makes these pitchers so photogenic. Where do they get their ideas to do when they're mugging on camera? These stories plus their top plays debut tonight, right after Pirates postgame. Scott Gomick down on lower third base camera there. And Scott, thanks for all your work last night with us tonight.
Yep.
Our camera operators are second to none. And they are out in the elements, so a nice, cool, comfortable night like tonight.
You were talking about April earlier. How about those guys around this ballpark and some of those nights?
And the guys and gals that we have running camera here are hardy folks. There's Chris Dahl. Chris always shares his presidential history with me.
I'll tell you, he's locked into his baseball research too. Jim, Troy.
Lucky to say a lot less wind tonight.
Thanks for all the great looks, because I get to watch everything when you guys are on the road, and these folks bring it home. Amy, how are you, darling? Still think of your dad all the time. Nellie King, one of the best guys I've ever met in the game of baseball. Your dad was special, and that whole family. We were pretty close for a lot of years out in that neighborhood. Yep.
It is great to have Amy as part of our broadcast team. Hard hit, but an out. There's Rick Rhodes.
Rick,
we're very thankful for everybody. Everybody in the truck, all the camera operators, everybody that helps us on a daily basis, those who come in and spell everybody. About Rick Kubia, who makes us sound so good.
Rick with his very, very impressive.
Or is he at Oktoberfest this year? No, he's here this year.
Very special shirt that he wears at each one of our year-end gatherings, urging Greg and I to run for public office, which of course will never happen, but Ricky carries the torch.
What's really nice is one of the things that we feature is Tyler Graham, who is one of the best editors that I've ever come across, puts together the end of the year video, which I missed last year. I had another engagement, but we'll have that for the final game in Cincinnati a week from tomorrow. So looking forward to see when he's put together. You go back and look at the Pirates season on the field, but also a thank you to everybody that has put everything together here on AT&T Sportsnet, and there are so many folks.
Yeah, it's
we're just the faces.
Yeah, it's kind of love letter to everybody.
Out to Dickerson. No, it's going to be the shortstop Newman.
I knew Kevin was going to get it.
Yeah, he had a good chance on that, right?
Yeah, a couple Kevins and a Corey. There's the break from shortstop. And
came right down the hall and met Kramer.
Yep, see Kramer peel away and look for another door to make an entrance in. And everybody in Pittsburgh's favorite, Ryan Braun. Even the kids are into it. They got it going on. We're in the 6th inning on Friday and Saturday night, and they got it going on.
Maybe a little extra cotton candy tonight.
Yep.
Braun bunting.
That's base hit. That's perfect.
He gets aboard with 2 outs. That's a testament too to how well Trevor Williams pitches.
Yep, just trying to create something rather than hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Here's a former MVP. I can't hit this guy. Let me see if I can bunt my way on.
Yep. And that was a perfect bunt. The art of bunting for base hits is alive. It's not as prolific as it maybe once was, but they can still do it.
That's the 4th hit off Williams. They've all been singles.
This will be pitch number 92 delivered by Trevor as he works here in the 6th inning.
Shaw has been stymied tonight. He's fouled out and struck out.
But ever dangerous.
Now that pitch count up to 92. Twenty of those pitches to Yelich tonight. And just now the rubber-armed right-handed rookie reliever Richard Rodriguez.
Mr. K. You got Mr. T pinch hit earlier. Now you got Mr. K. Watch out.
That might be the hardest hit ball tonight. Off Williams. I got a souvenir.
Everybody seems to be okay. Stallings out to say, listen, if you're going to let him hit the ball that hard, we have to talk. Even though it's a foul ball.
And he struck him out. Trevor Williams with 6 more shutout innings. He has been the best pitcher in baseball in the second half of this season. Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Boy, Trevor Williams, there has been nobody better in the last 3 months around baseball.
Nope, simple as that. I mean, that's really all you have to say, and that says a lot.
Tonight, 6 more scoreless innings. Steve, 19 scoreless innings in his 3 starts against the Brewers this year.
What, something like 7 hits, something like that.
Looks like he'll be done tonight. His last 12 starts combined, his ERA is 1. 1.00. 1. 12 starts. Almost 3 months of ball. This has been one of the best pitched sequences by a Pirates pitcher you'll ever see. And he just keeps on rolling.
Let's get a little cushion so he can notch number 14. He has certainly done his part of that pursuit. Pirates will face Xavier Cedeno over from the White Sox as Woodruff goes a scoreless inning, and now Cedeno on in the bottom of the 6th, and his numbers impressive.
And Dickerson has held his own against lefties, have better numbers against righties this year, but we've seen him start plenty against left-handed starters all year or hang in there against lefty relievers. And tonight has hit the ball hard twice.
A little bit of a hanger there that maybe Corey would like to have another whack at.
Up to 297 now.
Isn't it something? We say 297. Yeah, that's good. 300. That's a whole different delivery emphasis.
Yeah, those nice round numbers. Everyone wants to hit 20 home runs, not 19.
Those milestones, those mile markers.
100 RBIs is way better than 97.
Yeah. And you get through those sequence. 89. Oh, 89. 90? Oh, yeah. He's got 90 RBIs.
Much better.
Perception.
Full count. Cedeno, if that name is familiar, used to pitch in the division with the Houston Astros back when they were a part of the National League Central.
We were so sad when Houston was leaving because they were bad. Now we're kind of happy they're over there on the other side. Yeah, okay, have some fun over there, guys.
And another base hit for Corey Dickerson.
That nudges him up in that neighborhood. It's got to be 299 now.
Love to watch him.
Can we round it off?
No, he'll be there before long. Give him a couple more days.
298 we're hearing is that breaking ball stays inside. He just fights it off over the shortstop's head. Nothing spectacular, just a rock solid base hit.
That's good. That was a good pitch by Cedeno, and
he's always making a turn in case anything is fumbled or bumbled around there. He's in a position where he doesn't have to completely stop. Still got a little momentum going around the bases. I mean, Corey Dickerson pretty much plays the game the way it should be played.
I agree. Good example for the young players, many of whom, like Luplow, getting some valuable experience here in September. Gives it his all. He's worked through some things. Pablo Reyes, boy, he's a bundle of energy out there too. I was talking with him today, Reyes, about the right field wall. He's learning out there, getting his first time in right field ever as a professional. A few games he's had, but he's got some good jumps on some balls, made some great catches out there. We'll give Luplow a moment. Ouch. Right on the side of the shin bone. It's not like that stops hurting in, a few seconds. He'll get back in there, but
yeah, you'd rather not, but everybody's waiting and watching for you to get back in there.
Luplo's due for one. He's hitless in his last 18.
You know, I was thinking about that too. He almost get kind of a funny little sense every once in a while. It's the right guy in the right spot, the right occasion. So many times doesn't work out, but it's kind of fun when it does. Behind in the count, but it's lefty delivering to him.
And now with the man in scoring position. Second wild pitch issued by Brewers pitching tonight.
You're up 2-0 late in the ball game. If you can get one more point, it's big. If you can get two more, if you can, whatever you can get is big. That ball, that's 55-footer. Who knows where the spin is going to go after that hits the dirt.
So Dickerson at second with nobody out. And now it's like you have a leadoff double. See if Luplo can get him to third with one out. Totally changes how he approaches the at bat. Looked like he was trying to go out to right. A good breaking ball gets the first out. That's the first out. The left-handed batting Kramer due up, but Jose Osuna has been announced as a pinch hitter, so Cedeno's night is over. Right-hander rookie Taylor Williams coming in here in the sixth. Rest of this season, he has a stress reaction in the front of his pelvic bone and an abdominal wall muscle strain. So he was scheduled to pitch tomorrow. Nick Kingham will get the start instead, but the Pirates say that Joe Musgrove, after getting the rest that he needs to recover from that, he should be just fine and do all of his normal offseason workouts and be part of spring training in 2019. So no more Musgrove this season. That word just coming out from the Pirates, as Colin Moran is the pinch hitter for Osuna against Williams, the other T. Williams. So Taylor will face Moran.
The rookie. Second stint with the Brewers. He was up earlier in the year from AAA.
Yeah, rookie versus rookie here, even though both have some experience.
I don't have much room left for what's going to happen in this at bat in my little box on the scorecard.
Well, in case you wonder about how this all works, Osuna was announced as the pinch hitter, and even though he didn't come to bat, he appeared in the ballgame today and is no longer available in this game.
Once you're announced.
And the other facet is, once you bring in a pitcher, they have to face a batter unless there's some sort of injury or something like that. So you can't endlessly go back and forth.
So you can react with your second choice as a hitter.
Because if they didn't have that rule, in September,
musical chairs. They'll be introducing 7-hour games.
Tune in tomorrow morning for the finale.
Yep. As we pause for this pitching change.
Dickerson out there at second with 1 out. Moran's been pretty good at driving in the run really the last few months.
Done a good job coming off the bench.
That too.
When needed.
10 pinch hits for a rookie. Since they've been keeping track of that, only one Pirate rookie has had more. Mike Diaz back in '86, I think it was his rookie year, with 11 pinch hits.
Tough job coming off the bench. Got one shot, one at bat to make something happen.
Richard Rodriguez, who was up earlier, will come on and pitch the 7th. Trevor Williams, 6 scoreless innings tonight. Taylor Williams has a strike on Moran. I got to say it again. Last 12 starts for Williams, an ERA of 1.00. Is that good?
That's not too good. That's 10 good.
Unbelievable. Been so fun to watch. He's been the best pitcher in baseball. There's no question. Over the last, what, 2.5, 3 months? Good at bat here for Moran. Newman is next. Off Williams' glove to second, and off Scope's glove. It'll be a base hit for Moran. Dickerson could only get to third. He had to anticipate that Scope was going to glove that.
Comes off the bench and wasn't pretty, but he scored as a base hit. Anytime you get the deflection off the pitcher's glove, base hit. Looks like it was going to be a 1-4-3, but clank, 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 clank.
Moran's 11th pinch hit. And now Newman.
Once again, Pirates looking at a 2-out or no, just 1 out, excuse me, 1 out opportunity. So would they try anything here? Third base. The stock is kind of even with the base just in case. Would they think about doing anything tricky? Yes, they would.
You sniffed that out.
I don't know the signs. I was always bad picking up signs. They would holler down third base, bunt, bunt.
You had that one though, I bet.
Yeah. I was most of the time I had that one down.
That's not a bad idea. Runs have been hard to come by. Marte 2-out, 2-run double in the third. That's been it.
You know, sometimes a failed squeeze bunt, if it doesn't work, the last thing a defensive team is thinking about trying it twice in a row. Oh, the surprise is gone. Well, the surprise is gone, so you relax, and the surprise is back right away. I've seen it work.
Yeah, if you think it's a good play, why not try it a second time?
Yeah, and the defense is probably not thinking, you're not going to do this again. You can't fool us.
Let's check in with Paul Alexander. He's got a game break. Well, thank you, Paul. The White Sox with a big victory yesterday, scoring double digits against Chicago yesterday. But tonight, the Brewers, a game and a half back of the Cubs. Both games still in flux. Cardinals with a thrilling win today, so they're still hanging around. And right now, they would be going to Milwaukee for the wild card game.
Yeah, we went. We're 6, now 7.5.
Pirates still officially alive, but of course,
what a stop. Yeah, but
the Pirates have shifted into
life support.
Well, moving into developmental mode here in September.
This ball is just all over the place. A great save by Kratz.
38-year-old catcher.
So now we're in the 2-out mode.
Stallings knows a thing or two about a big hit. Yeah, the game-winning hit Monday night. A favorable 2-0 count. Been good with runners in scoring position. Dickerson single to start the inning. He's over at third. Moran with his pinch hit at first.
It's 96 miles an hour right on by you.
Like a golden flash. Williams out of Kent State. Back on Monday to begin the homestand. Stallings' second career walk-off hit.
There it is. Reaches out, tugs it down into left field. Done deal. Here they all come, as Roger Houston would say.
Getting to celebrate.
That's a full frontal right there.
That was a little hotter on Monday than it was tonight. Right to short this time. Garcia beats Moran to the bag. And the Pirates strand a pair in the 6th. Rodriguez coming on. Edgar Santana leaving the ballgame as we look at our Allegheny Health Network injury update. And for Santana, right forearm and elbow discomfort. And that's always an alarming sign, but the Pirates don't have any further word on Santana going forward. And hopefully one of those things where they got out in front of something in precaution.
Because
no further word.
He was evolving into somebody pretty special. So we hope, yeah.
He's pitched 69 times this year.
Whether it's serious or minor, we just hope that he's able to get on the other side of it during the offseason. Seem fresh and ready to go in spring training.
Moran stays in the game to play third. Richard Rodriguez, rookie. He's coming on for the 60th time this year.
And his strikeouts to innings ratio just outstanding.
Threw 8 pitches yesterday. Pitching for the 4th straight game.
66 innings, 85 strikeouts. Major league stuff.
Out to shallow center. Newman.
Newman. A show about nothing. Isn't that what Jerry Seinfeld described?
I think so.
A show about nothing.
Yeah. Now, of course, these guys were too young to have watched that show when it was on airing in its original form. But they've been talking about he and Kevin Kramer, who's now out of the game. But there's Kevin, the other Kevin.
I'm sure they've been directed to YouTube a bunch of times.
They've been good sports about it. We have some fun with it. Jonathan Scope 0 for 2. That's some power at the top of the zone.
So if you want some of the auxiliary numbers for Trevor Williams, you know about the 6 shutout innings, 4 hits, a walk, 7 strikeouts. Business as usual for Williams.
And I'll say, I mean, 6 shutout innings. He's done that 10 times this year. 6 or more shutout innings.
Yeah, business as usual.
Nobody even close in baseball has done that.
Right, and you take nothing for granted, but sometimes you can't say enough. So we keep trying because it has been so special, so special.
And you look at his overall body of work. I mean, this is not just, okay, well, he's had an unbelievable 2.5 months. You go back to, let's take away his first major league start last year in LA. He gave up 8 runs. He was not himself. From his second major league start on, his ERA for his career is about 3.3, which is better than Jake Arrieta and some other big names out there. That's how good Trevor Williams has been in 2 years.
Party here, 2-0 here as we hit the bottom half of inning number 7. Where earlier today, Pirates Charities, in partnership with the Hampton Athletic Association, participated in the grand opening of 3 newly renovated fields at Hampton Community Park. The association dedicated newly constructed dugouts in memory of beloved coach Skip Palmer as well as 2 young players from the association who recently passed away from cancer, including a young man named Connor. In 2017, Pirates Charities contributed a matching grant of $25,000 to the project through the Fields for Kids program. Minor league players, recipients of the Pirates Community Commitment Program Awards were in attendance, as well as the Pirate Parrot. Once again, Joe and Steve, the Buccos doing big things around the community, including renovating these fields, which are enjoyed by many, many youth around the western Pennsylvania and surrounding areas.
Well, I could second that. Offered a grant to girls softball in Bethel Park, for instance, so our neck of the woods. So great to see all the different fields get spruced up or even built because of that program.
You know, the baseball season continues until the last day of the season. So do the Pirate charity efforts and the involvement in the community by various members of the organization, not just players, not just broadcasters. Everybody in this organization puts in a full season, and their full season is 12 months.
Yes. Joaquim Soria on as Rodriguez is out.
Tidy work.
8-pitch frame. Pitching in the 4th straight game. All Ryan Lavarnway does is hit. 3 for 3 as a Bucco. Hey, dust him off. The last time he had a hit was last time he got an at bat was Tuesday night. He had the game winner. Sees 1 pitch. Okay. The story on Lavarnway, 31-year-old catcher who has been around quite a bit, but was a really good-looking prospect in the Red Sox system. He's a catcher, and had 31 home runs at Pawtucket, and really starting to get back to some of that offensively. But now, you know, his role is as of, you know, trying to make a team as a backup catcher, but very good defensively. All the reports, Brian Esposito down at Indianapolis, but also the bat has come back, and he says being with one organization and hearing from one group of hitting coaches has helped him so much. And in a very small sample size, he's hitting 1,000.
Pretty impressive numbers. You got Williams at a recent ERA of 1. Another guy hitting 1,000. Nice to round those numbers off. Can he steal a base for us?
I don't think they're planning on that.
No, unless they
element of surprise.
A little hitting and running.
Did not steal at Indy this year. And never has one in his big league time either.
Another good night for Adam Frazier. 2 for 3 so far. Scored one of the 2 runs. Little insurance here, please. Soria brings it in there at 93 miles an hour.
The Pirates have been getting some base runners against this Milwaukee bullpen. They left 3 on in the 5th and left 2 aboard last inning after Davies went the first 4.
You'd like to get a little separation and score here, because this Brewers team has been quiet tonight, but they can get real loud. We got a sample of that last night.
Moustakas records the first out. Pirates have the lead 2-0 here in the 7th. I want to remind you that 2019 Pirates season tickets are available. There are full season tickets, half and 20 game plans available that you can pick for the plan that fits your needs. There are year-long benefits. You get a price discount. There's a flexible exchange policy. You get a team store discount and a whole lot more cool stuff for being a season ticket holder. Go to pirates.com/season tickets. Come on out and see the Buccos in 19.
Mr. Bell will be here. Of course, you temper that with the fact you really don't know exactly what might be happening during an off season. You never know. Players move around.
especially these days in baseball. But for instance, Starling Marte, one of the longest tenured Pirates now, dating back to the time that he signed back in 2007.
It used to be the only big deal was July 31st, player movement. Now they find ways to move them around all the time.
Maybe two.
Huh. Automatic takes care of that.
Leadoff single erased by Soria.
Brought to you by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
It is a gorgeous first night of fall here in Pittsburgh. 2-0 Pirates on the UPMC scoreboard. 8th inning coming up. Pirates trying to even the series and deal a difficult defeat to Milwaukee. They don't want their bubble to burst as they bid for the postseason. Kyle Crick coming on for the Buccos. And instead of facing Orlando Arcia to start off the inning, instead he'll get to draw the all-star slugger Jesus Aguilar. Pinch hitting.
Nice to know that one swing of the bat can't beat you, but it could hurt, so you want to keep the ball in the ballpark.
And not that I or any of us know what's going on in that Brewers dugout as well as Craig Counsell does, but you would think you would try to save him for a situation where he's the tying or go-ahead run.
Yeah, good point.
But you may never get that chance.
They're probably still in that dugout trying to figure out why they can't do anything against Trevor Williams.
Yeah, well,
3 seasons starts.
Join the party.
A good breaking ball by Kyle, gets the chase.
Lorenzo Cain is in the on-deck circle. He has not played since earlier this week with an intercostal concern. So 2 all-stars.
Oh, another chase. So he swings at one bad breaking ball outside, so you go further outside and see if he'll chase, and he did. Nice to get on the other side of that bat.
No doubt.
This was not close.
Good work by Crick to start the 8th. Lorenzo Cain pinch hitting for Soria. Left the game on Tuesday. Ball one to the All-Star. Those intercostal injuries, those can be.
Is that the rib cage kind of stuff? Or?
I've had those a couple of times. There's like a little muscle somewhere, and it's just probably it feels like it's the size of a penny in your back. But
oh, in the back. Okay, not the ribs.
Maybe it's attached to the rib cage. I don't know, but somewhere around there.
Nagging.
It hurts. No, it's sharp.
Okay.
Sharp pain. And you only feel it if you twist a certain way. I had one where you're driving, and if you look at the mirror,
the grab,
and then it's I can't look at the mirror anymore, and then so I started driving with my eyes closed to see what happens there. Didn't work. That's a fair ball, and so they bring up two of their most fearsome hitters, a strikeout, and a ball hit a couple of feet in front of home plate.
Again, still wondering how that became a fair ball, but. No other discussion from the Brewers bench.
The only way it wouldn't have been is if it fell off of him.
And
it did not.
No. It stays fair and he stays there. And it becomes very easy. As soon as they separate the traffic, it's an easy toss to first base.
Yeah, Stallings alertly picking it up while it stayed in fair territory. Now Granderson 0 for 3 tonight. So Williams 6 scoreless on 4 singles. 1, 2, 3, 7th by Rodriguez. And Crick picking up the 8th.
And that Milwaukee bullpen has been outstanding, but they still trail by 2.
This has been a stretch for Milwaukee where they've put up. You got Knable, the former All-Star, and the lefty is Dan Jennings. They've gone more than 20 innings now without allowing a run for Craig Counsell's pen. Even though the Pirates have put base runners on in every inning against the pen tonight, they've gotten out of it.
I didn't get the exact number, but well, I'm not sure what the attendance was. We'll find out about that as we go on. 23,700. Or 23. I boxed it.
Sorry, I wrote on some things.
I boxed it, so it's all right. I'm on it.
I was writing it down like we're doing a negotiation.
Okay.
I'm going to put a number on this piece of paper.
You tell me what it is.
All right, I accept. Thanks for coming out tonight. Last night game.
Yeah.
Crick with a 1-2-3 inning. The Pirates' pen keeping the Brewers at bay. Great look at this one on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. 2-0. The Pirates lead here in the 8th. Jonathan Scope swings over from second to shortstop now. Travis Shaw from first to second. Jesus Aguilar now in at first base with Arcia out and Jennings in.
5th pitcher out of the Milwaukee bullpen, and they, as we said, have been squeaky clean after the 2 runs given up by Davies early. Numbers for Dan Jennings, this left-hander, making his 71st appearance.
At 3.11 ERA, that's down. And a base hit for Bell. Now the lefty batting Dickerson. He's hit the ball well 3 times tonight. 4 for 7 in the series. How about his triple off Josh Hader last night? He can hit lefties.
Yep. Yeah, nobody hits Hader like that. I mean, that doesn't happen. He's just too tough.
He singled off the lefty Cedeno his last time.
The 2-run double by Starling Marte. That's been it.
With 2 outs.
With 2 outs. A whole lot of pitching going on in this ballpark tonight.
That was a great inning because Marte followed Frazier, who singled, who followed Williams, who had an infield single with 2 outs and nobody on to start that little rally.
And
you said it right at the time. You said this is how those things kind of develop.
Yeah. Williams is doing everything. Trevor. Remember they used to say about Hoffman, it's Trevor time.
Yeah.
Well, it's Trevor time.
He used to say that in Milwaukee at the end of his career.
Yeah.
But of course, the Hall of Famer predominantly with the Padres. But it has been Trevor time in Pittsburgh, that's for sure. Scope to Shaw. Too slow to develop. They get 1. So Dickerson aboard with 1 out. As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the Hold True moment later in tonight's game. Nothing better.
That the home team is winning so far.
Yeah. Hit him a ball, especially if you're out in the outfield. Jacob Barnes now on for the Brewers.
Along with all those numbers, a couple saves to his credit.
Hard thrower. So Counsell wants to go with the righty for Luplow, even though Moran, the lefty, is on deck, who has not hit lefties very well this year. I thought maybe they'd leave in Jennings for him. But Jennings, righties hit .315 against him, so maybe wanting to limit that. Dickerson at first with 1 out. Luplow 0 for his last 19. That's a slider from Barnes at 90. Got off to a good start in September upon his last call up. With most rookies, right? The roller coaster until you get that certain level of experience, which varies for everybody.
Doesn't take long to get from Indianapolis to Pittsburgh by car. Sometimes it can take a long time by talent.
For him, it didn't take long at all initially last season. You know, the Pirates fundamentally usually want to make sure that when they call guys up that they have really mastered their level. But Luplow had just shot right through the system last year, ending the previous season in Bradenton, but went through Altoona and then Indy and was their minor league player of the year last year.
And proved that he's got some serious power.
Well, he was up and down from the Pirates, but in that consistent stretch of ball where once the weather warmed up in Indianapolis, a 2-month stretch where he was slugging like an all-star, driving in runs.
Yeah, you start hitting the ball over the fence on a regular basis in the minor leagues, you're going to move.
He had 26 homers last year between the minors and the Pirates. And he draws a walk after they bring in Barnes here. He does not command the ball well. And now there are 2 on here in this 2-run game. Kratz talking it over with the young Barnes. Mike Malinsky trying to give him a little bit more leash, but okay. 30 seconds are up.
It's time.
So the idea was they would rather have Barnes to face the righty Luplow. He walked him, and now he's got to face the left-handed batting Moran here. If the only lefty available to Counsell is Hader, and they used Hader yesterday, they don't often bring him in back-to-back games if he's pitched at all, other than maybe a hitter or two. Felipe Vasquez.
No surprise.
Will it be a 2-run lead he protects, or maybe more? Moran had a pinch hit single off the deflected glove of Williams, and then off of the glove of the second baseman Scope. Pinball shot. 2 aboard, 1 out. to Aguilar. It's off his foot and foul. Yep. Right off the front of the ankle.
Here's the runners, and Luplo is going to have all the room he wants to get a huge lead. The double could get you two.
As it did back in the third, off the bat of Marte. Now with one out, maybe not as aggressive running, but yeah, if it hits the gap right away.
Yeah. And probably Frazier quicker than Luplo on the base paths. Maybe Luplo.
Dickerson, the lead runner at second.
Yep.
Moran, since July, has been really doing a number with runners in scoring position. Going to get 341. And he's got Dickerson there at second. And a 3-2 count. Barnes walks one about every other inning on average, which is a fairly high number.
He is considered a swing and miss pitcher. So does that factor into thinking about sending these people?
With Newman on deck, and Newman is not a really big power hitter, you know, a singles type hitter. Moran, we know, can drive the ball. And he finds a hole. Dickerson got a good jump. And he's going to score as Colin Moran comes through with the RBI single. 3-0 Pirates.
Finding that hole on the infield. Colin Moran comes off the bench and delivers both at bats. This one prettier than the other one in so many ways, including producing a run. Right through that hole at shortstop. Dying on that outfield grass. No problem for Dickerson to score.
And in part because Dickerson, see right there, read that ball instantly. He is in. 2 for 2 for Colin Moran. Luplo moving to third. Fly ball here could add another.
Pile them up. You don't know how many you're going to need. The old adage, maybe the first commandment of trying to protect skinny leads.
Well, who knows how it would turn out, but they took out Jennings. And Barnes has come on and allowed both men to reach so far. And Luplo, that was important to get to third with one out.
Too, when the ball stops bouncing, it can die in that grass. That's pretty thick grass out there, so that certainly helped too.
Did he swing? Yes. Winters.
He's the boss. He's a crew chief. Call could have gone either way.
And it did.
Went the other way.
Newman runs well, so let's see, hits a ball right at one of those infielders, then Even something like a fielder's choice might be able to plate Luplow. And the outfield arms, no one particularly outstanding, so a medium deep fly ball is going to be enough to score Luplow here.
Give you perspective from the side, how deep they are.
Anderson maybe a little in.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Braun plays a little back as he typically does, and to the pull field, that makes sense. Well, 2-2. Pirates have collected 10 hits tonight, and 6 of those off the bullpen.
Eclectic group. Yes. Archer, Clemente, Bonds.
Different generations.
Yeah.
Something for everybody when you come to the old ball game. Good slider by Barnes.
Goes back outside and gets him.
So Newman is the second out.
Unhittable, but the chase creates the second out.
Well, Dickerson coming in, an important insurance run, making it 3-0. The Pirates could double that lead with a home run here. And maybe that thought from Stallings on the first pitch. Why not? Instead, they got the slider. Luplow at third, Moran on at first. He drove in the run. A little delayed steal. He's trying to. Oh, he should have went. and on a perfect throw from Kratz, Luplow is out. They tried a delayed double steal, and the Brewers extinguish that. But the Pirates get a run. They'll take a 3-0 lead into the ninth. The nightmare is coming on.
Now they've got Lupo in the middle and took a perfect throw by Kratz, but they get him.
And that's by design, too. Moran's not a base stealer. They were trying to see if they can catch him in between.
If the throw is not down there, they don't get that out, but it was, and we go on to the top of the 9th inning with a 3-0 lead. Eric Kratz doing his job.
Trying to pick up a big 4th run with Yelich, Braun, and Shaw due up against Felipe Vasquez.
His numbers: 66 innings, 83 strikeouts. You wonder about the dynamic of a baseball game. If you score the 4th, you don't see Vasquez right away, and or maybe do you still maybe see him?
Maybe because he was already warming, I suppose.
Yeah.
But typically, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's not a safe situation.
But here he is.
You got 2 out of 3 lefties coming up.
Yeah, and you score the 4th. You like the 4th run, and you might bring somebody in, but you still got him in your back pocket. So I'll take the 4th run every time.
Yelich 0-for-2. And these are the kind of matchups you like to see.
I was just thinking that, Joe. I was just thinking the same thing. This is 2 good baseball players, pitcher and hitter.
Might be the MVP, and Vasquez has been the best at negating lefty power over the last 2 seasons in baseball.
Got out in front of that off-speed pitch. Looked like it might have been the curveball that didn't curve. Blocked it out with his body. I get a blur sometimes between his changeup and his curve.
So do the hitters.
Yeah.
Behind on Yelich to start the 9th.
And Yelich behind on Vasquez.
Then Braun bunted his way on against Trevor Williams. Williams went the first 6. Rodriguez, Crick, each with 1, 2, 3 innings. Yelich always a tough guy to put away. He's looked at 25 pitches here at his 4 plate appearances so far.
Cervelli just
probably game planning and what he would call right here, right?
He's tuned in.
Hung it and hit well to the gap. Yelich with a leadoff double here in the 9th.
And that's a quick double. That got out there very, very quickly, and that's obviously a very good at bat. Didn't leave the yard, but hit off that padding. Didn't miss it by much, as he left the breaking ball right up in that go zone. And the good hitters like Yelich don't miss it by much. And that ball missed by 2 feet, of making it a 2-1 or 3-1 baseball game.
So the curveball to the gap, just the 4th extra base hit by a lefty off Vasquez over the last 2 seasons combined.
Well, this guy's that good.
2 of the best of their profession, and Yelich winning that battle. Now Braun.
You're loving the insurance. Loving that extra run at this point.
Well, Vasquez, the last time he faced the Brewers was on Sunday, and he earned the save. He had a 3-run lead, and he promptly allowed home runs to Aguilar and Santana to start his inning.
I saw it, bang bang.
But then got the next 3 outs. He said that's why they call him the Nightmare. He doesn't get too worked up, which is probably why he's so good in that role.
You've got to have a different kind of mentality to be a closer. It just, ball game's right on your shoulder immediately.
And there's nowhere to go in the ninth. Another century mark.
Or as they say in poker circles, a Hyundai. You bet a Hyundai there. It's the 100. Not the automobile, the monetary designation.
So he faced maybe a future MVP and now a former MVP in Braun.
Could hear a cheer here. No, thinking call third strike or swing and a miss. There are popular strikeouts, and then there are popular strikeouts.
Well, Braun has been villainous throughout baseball. Santana, who I just mentioned, you know, he homered last time these two faced one another on Sunday. Try to limit the amount of lefties that face Vasquez. Missed the mark. 2-2.
What we don't need certainly is another base runner.
Then you would bring the tying run up. Williams in line for win number 14. If Vasquez can get 3 outs before the Brewers get 3 runs, that should be 1. And there it is. Keeps Yelich at second with 1 out. And a look at tomorrow's action, the series finale. Wade Miley, the left-hander, goes for Milwaukee. Nick Kingham will go for the Buccos. We'll have Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason coming your way at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Now with 1 out, Yelich at second. Santana. Remember, he had 30 home runs last year, but has spent most of the year at AAA. He was the odd man out, and they acquired 2 outfielders in the offseason. But plenty capable. Yelich with the leadoff double. And he's been behind each of the first 3 hitters here in the ninth.
Yep. See on the chart, he's trying to keep the ball away, down and away, get the ball in the ballpark. But a couple misses.
That's a hitter's only chance really against Vasquez. If he's ahead, you got 4 pitches you have to try to cover.
Yeah. And you got to commit to 1 and then adjust to the others.
At about a 20-mile-per-hour difference.
Yeah.
Now Santana, the last time he faced him Sunday afternoon, pinch hitting.
In the launching area, the launching pad, Miller Park.
A moonshot by Santana. And now it's even up. Now for Vasquez, giving up those 2 home runs, that's the only time as a big leaguer he had ever allowed 2 home runs in an outing. You have to go back to when he was a Tampa Bay Rays farmhand in a game for the Charlotte Stone Crabs when he allowed 2 home runs. Then he hit the next guy in the helmet and got suspended for a week. And he laughed about it. He said, "Yeah, I was young. Wouldn't do that again." He was okay though.
He was okay. The batter was okay. And
the batter was
okay.
okay. Yeah, everybody was okay. He learned his lesson. That's not the way to be. Teenage angst. Moustakas, the lefty, on deck. Would he be the tying run or the potential third out? 101 center square.
What you call reaching back to give a little extra. A little extra, and this is just old-fashioned backyard heat. I'm going to throw it as hard as I can. You see if you can catch up, and he didn't.
I wouldn't want to play in your backyard.
No, that's
101. Vasquez against Moustakas. And ahead of the hitter to start.
Folks on their feet here looking for a real hard-working blue-collar Pirate win. You score early, and you try to make it stand up for the rest of the night. Speaking of standing up, .101. Interstate 101. That is the fast lane. Now you got some wiggle room now to try to get the chase. Put a lid on this thing. Back to the drama.
Vasquez is 1-2.
Up and in again. Temptation, but Moustakas did not bite on those last two high inside fastballs. And Francisco, probably somebody saying in his ear, what do you think? You think he'll try this pitch? Francisco, I'm not sure. Out of the way.
He struck him out.
Bingo.
Vasquez wraps it up. The Pirates with a shutout victory. He saves his 36th. And again, Trevor Williams on the side of another Pirate shutout. He wins his 14th tonight.
And deservedly so. He set the tone. The Pirate bullpen was flawless. Again, you score two early and make it stand up the rest of the night. You have really worked hard. That's a whole lot of protection. Oh, Williams in the bullpen. Starling Marte, one swing of the bat. The Pirates win it 2-0. That's a very impressive win against a very good hitting ball club. And here it comes. The sweeper went away from the fastball. They get it, and that is dynamite work right there. Good ball game in front of 23,000 plus.
Bucco's blanking of the Brewers, dealing them a difficult defeat as they hope for the postseason. And Clint Hurdle and the boys shaking hands after a 3-0 victory tonight. Now let's send it out to Paul and Michael.
All right, Joe and Steve, thank you very much. And this was clean. It was well played. It was well earned. And again, the whole Trevor Williams situation, story, it just continues to get better and better.
No question. He is now known as Dr. Williams. He has his PhD in pitching on how to get guys out no matter what he has on a given day. Stallings catching a great game. Another win under his belt in the short tenure he's been up here this year. The nightmare showing up. The bullpen being absolutely outstanding. Marte and Dickey stepping up. What a fun game. And Yelich is Barry Bonds this year. This guy is a really good hitter. The fact that he had that slider off the wall, a couple walks, he's just a tough guy to get out.
Pirates win it by the score of 3-0, and once again swinging a very hot bat, Mr. Corey Dickerson. He's standing by right now with our own Robbie and Smikowski. Robbie.
Yeah, Michael McHenry's former teammate Corey Dickerson. 2 more hits, a run scored tonight, batting .298 on the season, flirting with the 300 mark for the 3rd season of the 60s played as a Major League Baseball player. But first, Corey, you're a veteran guy. You've been around a while. What is this team showing you in the month of September to get you excited for 2019?
All the young guys. And the pitching staff is keeping us in each and every game, and we try to keep it simple up there offensively, and they keep us in the game, and we're able to score runs.
When you go back to Trevor Williams' start before the All-Star break, the last start he made before the All-Star break, it was July 11th. He's given up a total of 8 earned runs since then. His ERA is 1. How much of a boost has that provided to this ball club?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's the leadership in our clubhouse. The pitching staff has done a great job with that. And, you know, he studies. He works hard. He studies a lot before the game, and he puts it to use like no other, and it's showing out there on the field.
You just mentioned the leadership. This guy's a third-year player, third season as a big leaguer for Trevor Williams. Kind of an example does that set for the rest of the staff, and by extension, the rest of the guys in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I think it's the whole pitching staff. They all communicate well. They all go about their business, you know, seriously, and they leave it out on the field. And, you know, we got a great staff and the bullpen also.
I mentioned a second ago, you're batting .298. Look, you're probably not happy with me bringing up numbers right now, but batting .300, what would that mean to you to do it for the third time in your career?
You know, consistency. This game is one of the hardest games out there, and to be able to do it for 162 days, mentally, physically, and, you know, it'd be an accomplishment. But I'm just wanting to win games. I'm not really worried about the average, so we'll see where it turns out.
How do you describe your first season playing games here on the North Shore as a Pirate?
I love it here, and I love the fans, and I appreciate all the support.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
All right, Paul, Michael, how about that? I know Michael can speak to Corey Dickerson about how good a guy he is, but how about this performance he's putting out in 2018 on the field?
Yeah, no question about that, Robbie. Thank you very much. Just like we promised during the course of the broadcast, it's time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment. And every time he pitches, he seems to have the Hold True moment. Trevor Williams was just sensational. Once again, 6 scoreless innings, only allows 4 hits, does walk a batter, but he strikes out 7 on a very efficient 95 pitches, ups his record to 14-9, and I would imagine that ERA over the last 13 games is now below 1. So an absolutely stellar performance once again by the man, the doctor of pitching, Trevor Williams. He was absolutely incredible. Well, we're going to have a lot of fun breaking this one down because I think the Pirates still really enjoy beating Milwaukee. They're a divisional rival. There's been some moments through the years that haven't been too kind, but the nightmare and Trevor Williams do a job on the Brewers as the Pirates make it 3-0 over Milwaukee, and now they can win the series with a win tomorrow when Game 3 is played. Michael and I are going to break it all down next on Pirates Postgame, and that's straight ahead right here on AT&T Sports Net.